Welcome to our plant-based kitchen drawer.
And I'm Kim.
Thank you for joining us on a great adventure. Today we are celebrating 2007 Day.
It's a kitchen day. And ask about our lifestyle, partly because we both experienced significant weight loss.
Feel you.
And this channel is not about perfection.
This channel is for those interested in plant-based because you are sick and tired. Sick and
We're judgy and ask you not to be either, because we're not professional physicians or anything else for them. We're here to share from our personal experiences about life. And we hope you'll collaborate with us so we can learn from you as well. Please subscribe and share this channel with those who you feel like would plan is just share what we're cooking each week because we've been batch cooking for years and always need the easy button with how we save busy. Just stay busy. Think we can save you time, money, and maybe even your health by sharing. So let's get started. This week, we're going to be doing a couple of recipes we did last week. And if you didn't see last week's blooper, because we did the whole thing on meat, go back in it under a minute and you'll get quite a giggle because we were going on and we were on mute, didn't know it. So hopefully we won't make that mistake again, but bear with us. And again, no judging. We're going to be making one of our favorite cookies that we make every week. And we change the recipe a little bit each week to. So we made apple pie cookies last week that on mute. So we decided since we love them so much, we would go ahead and make apple pie again. So please don't judge us for not being professional chefs or anything else. We just love to cook and we love to eat. You want to get the banana, and y'all don't laugh at me for this either, but I call them bananas. We have bananas that we have from last week. We always order extra so that we have plenty to make cookies with because when they're brown and lasts for almost, but when they're brown or black, they're very sweet. And it keeps you from having to have sugar in things. So this is our cookie that we kind of laugh. It's one of those tricking ourselves, I guess is the right way to say it, because it's actually super healthy. It's oatmeal based, banana based, breakfast bar, or you can make them in bars, you can make them in cookies, you can make them in loaves, you can make them in all the kinds of things. What you're hungry. The bananas are something that it makes me just grossed out when I see them. I'm just gonna be honest, but they are very when they are grown. So that's part of what we use. But around here, we're not good. I'm not good at recipes. Troy calls it concocting, concoct things.
super sad.
If you have a question about something, please don't hesitate to ask us. We will do our best to share what we know. And again, we're not chefs, we're not physicians, we're not anything professional in that way. We are trying to share some of the things that have gotten us 2007 days down the road of being plant-based. We feel like we got our health back. We got our lives back. I was pretty sick whenever we started plant-based. I was feeling really probably waiting to have a stroke or a heart attack. My family is very much riddled with that kind of health. The problem is I didn't want it to. I didn't want to be sick all the time. And like we said earlier, we were sick and tired of being sick. And these cookies are marvelous. So I don't even know how many bananas you've been using. I didn't even count.
All of them from
Maybe,
last week.
maybe 8 or 10 is what we do. And here's the great part about this recipe. It's very forgiving. So if you don't have something and you're making it, no big deal. We have my mama. You can get them at any of the department stores. You can order it offline. It makes it really easy because you don't want to have bananas that are liquidy. You just want cement. So Troy is going to show you when he gets them smashed up what they look like. Nothing like being under pressure.
Oh yeah. Oh. I'm a cater smasher, banana smasher from Weeping. You just want them where they'll knit.
So they'll slide and it'll pour. I would forward it. Now, here's a little tidbit. Apple pie most of the time has cinnamon in it, but I'm allergic to cinnamon. So we use ground cloves, nutmeg, and cinnamon in our apple pie cookies, and they are absolute delicious. And we are a big on spices. So if you see us being very heavy-handed, we are heavy-handed at because they just taste so. So I'm guessing that's probably 2 teaspoons for most recipes might call for 1. We use a lot more. And with ground cloves, we use a lot and make the whole house smell so good when we're cooking with them. And then ginger, I don't know if you could get too much fun for me. I actually drink ginger in my coffee because it's something really good for your tummy. At least it's good for So he's gonna cut up some apples. These are, I think, yellow apples. I think last week we had Fuji apples. Whatever apples you have, one of the habits that we have is we overbuy intentionally. And one of them is apples are hungry for a snack. Grab an apple. It's really filling and it does good things for your health. But we buy apples and then the next week, if we have not eaten them all, they're going to the week. Bananas are the same way. We try really not to waste any. And to me, that's a great way to have your cake and eat it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there is that. So we're gonna fast forward this while we cut up the apples. And we're using 3 this time, 3 in this batch. Tops. If you don't like chunks of apples, you like smaller ones. But we're going to fast forward this so that you don't have to watch this chop. I'll try to still not the apple. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna add 7 flaxseed. We usually add several tablespoons of flaxseed in every batch because it's good to have every day and we eat to cook it every single day. And I think I probably put 5 tablespoons in the batch.
You hear these cookies in, you just make them how you feel.
When you're baking, if you add flax, we use flax for flax pans or making the calls like oil. We can use unsweetened applesauce or oil in recipes, and it's amazing how good it turns out to keep the oil out of things.
So.
When we first started, I guess something we can sell. When we first started, we weren't sure what exactly to use, so we ate a lot of rice and beans in the beginning because I didn't know how to cook this way. I have cooked my whole life, but not plant-based. So when I started learning how to substitute things, it was amazing to me to know you can substitute so many things to make recipes healthier. You don't have to give up recipes. You just must. So I think to me that is a huge plus going plant-based. If you're just starting out, don't overwhelm yourself. I would suggest finding one recipe that maybe your favorite and substitute for it. Change out one meal if you need. We went all in, I will tell you, when I did my research, and I want to thank the Esselstyns, all of them, for all the information that I found from them is, helped me make the decision plant-based is what we needed to do. And we're not here to tell you the only thing you can do. We decided we would just figure it out ourselves. And it was hard. I'll be honest. It was hard to figure out things because at first we didn't change our mind. We started exploring a little bit more at the beginning of it. We made what we call survival bed, where we make bad choices when we're hungry or we're tired. And I think that that's where a lot of our weight came from. We were busy and with drugs and whatnot. For us, we immediately saw difference in our health early on, from the difference in our blood and our lunch. So these are old-fashioned oats. They're just rolled oats. Don't use the quick ones. They don't work. And I use the very precise done. No, I used about the container. This was a new container so far. And we will adjust it when we see what it looks like. That's one of the things I hope you gain confidence in stirring and just tasting capable of making cookies or whatever you're making. And don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to substitute things, and don't be afraid to search online for things. You'll find that there are some places that give you recipes that they've never tested. In theory, they sound like they'll work and they don't. So you'll learn quickly which ones those are. Some great ones. And that is anything with the Esselstyns. So Kenny Esselstyn have a plant-based cooking show. Among it is wonder. Lots of good information, lots of recipes. I follow them and learn a lot. I think Will Your World is another great channel to follow. They feel pretty simple and easy, and they kind of cook like how we want to cook, which is not necessarily gourmet, but for busy lives. So I hope that you're watching Troy get this mixed up, and it's not a big deal whether we have too little or too many out in there. We have an adjustment. I think I'm just going to put just a little bit more in there.
This is my arm work. Just trying to get my arms out. You can put it in.
See, let me just be clear about that.
Here we go.
Here's a way that we get crunchy in the cookies without overdoing the walnut. Because we do add walnuts too, but these are just raw seeds that we get from wherever we're and at them most places. The raw ones, you just put some, and it's not going to, I'm just going to need the rest of that. They'll be extra crunchy, and they taste so good, and like maybe kind of texture. And then we add walnut. Walnuts, you don't want to overdo walnut, is what the research says. They just give it a very fancy feeling. Taking this one. And if we had vanilla, I think we're out of vanilla. If we had vanilla, we'd put a couple tablespoons actually of vanilla in it. We really like taste. That is one thing we want to do. There's no salt in and any of it's added, no sugar added. So apples, frozen oats, bananas, ground cloves, ground ginger, and nutmeg, and then ground flax, pumpkin seed, and walnut is what then this.
It's just about ready to put on the.
When you show the beautiful and the texture, let me just show you the texture. So you know how cookie dough is? This is the kind of texture. It'll slide off and kind of be chunky, but it's not liquid. So if you with some, maybe you use the more banana thing, take more oats and add with them, and it'll make it better. If you want to do a loaf, you want to make it a little drier. If you want to do bars, today we're going to do bars. That is just spreading them out thin in a pan. It's one of my favorite pans. It's just a regular old pan. But you paper to it to make it not sticky, not having a big cleaning. You can add silk pad or silicone pads, which kind of gives it a caramely taste on the bottom of. Can't explain all that, but just know from experience we like that too. This is what we're in this week. Apple pie cookies. And as soon as Troy gets these ready, we'll get them in the oven and then we'll move on to our next recipe. For me, sugar real quick. I just want to hold that. You can, the chunks, we like chunks. You can make them small if you want, but you just put them in the pan. They can be thick or thin, however you like them. We do 350 to 400, depending on how your oven. And if you use thin, you maybe 20, 25 minutes. You do really thick, 45 minutes. But you will know when they're done. We're still smelling. That's usually the best test of them is if you're smelling them, they're close. And if you like them crunchy on top, leave them in a little water. I think we burned maybe one batch of these ever, and it was still not even hard to eat. I think we crumbled it up and made it like granola. I feel like we just can't hardly burn these. So we'll be back in a minute. The first is going in the oven, and we actually have enough for a whole second pan. So you have a choice in this too. You can take these and make cookies out of them to make them different. You can throw them in the air fryer, and those come out delicious. Bars, loaves, however. But we have found a way that we have been liking lately, which is to take the already cooked bar or cookie, and if we're wanting dessert, we'll throw it in the air fryer where it heats it up and kind of crisps a little bit of the outside of it. And then we'll have that sometimes with fruit or glaze. They make a balsamic vinegar, balsamic glaze that you can drizzle a little bit on there, and that makes it super good. So anyway, lots of ways to do this. We're going to clean this up really quick. So we'll be back in just a minute and we'll get this. We'll get the next recipe, which is actually spicy cabbage and potatoes, or as Troy calls it, spicy cabbage and taters soup. So we'll be back in just. Okay. So next recipe is so good. It is called spicy cabbage and taters, as Troy calls it. We want to show you some things that we are nap cabbage, which is one of the healthiest things you can eat. And so when we buy this, it is definitely something that needs to be washed well. Now, if I can find one of these leaves, but down at the bottom down here, it just gets like sand and dirt down there. So we always wash this. We had this left over from last week when we did the show on wheat. Gonna use what we had last week because snapper cabbage is not like most of the different kinds of greens and things. It'll last and last in your So we like it because it's forgiving us too. We might not be ready to cook it when we think we are. And sometimes that happens to all of us. We're going to cook ours in an Instant Pot today. You can also cook it in a pot. You cook it in a big stainless pot. Same instructions for how to put the soup together. Just done a little bit different when it comes to cooking. Big soup will be cooked with high pressure in the Instant Pot for 45 minutes. And in a pot on the stove, it may take an hour, hour and a half, depending on how high you have heat. And you gotta stir it. You really gotta watch it so that it doesn't burn. As Troy gets this I am going to pull this off and show you our first ingredient. And this is where judgy stuff don't damage. This is just the easy button for us on some weeks that we've been busy, and this is what we do. We get a spicy BA. That's where the spicy comes in. Truthfully, it's not that spicy. Troy doesn't like spicy. I love spicy. But he does not like very spicy stuff. So all I'm going to do is pour the whole thing in my Instant Pot. And then yeah, just really thin cooking style kind of pan where you have plenty of room to put everything. This always has, and you can see it or not, it always has stuff left in there. So a little bit of water. We get shaken up when we make sure we get all the good. And that depends on what the sauce is. You can add more water to this if you're taking in pot. We don't want quite as much love added to it because we'll do just fine with this. Our cabbage from last week, a package soup starter vegetables, which has like onion, celery, peppers maybe, some parsley. You can get that and throw it in when you're in a really big hurry. I suggest buy frozen vegetables and making it easy, because that's one of the things that I hope we can translate to you all. Not about being perfect, about being the best you can be to them. So if you can't do, get a chop, get a frozen chop. Okay. So it's going to taste really good either way, and easy, but for a lot of us to listen. Last week we showed when we're in a hurry, we also like little tiny yellow potatoes, so that all we have to do is wash them and throw them in. We don't have to cut up it. Today we're going to be cutting up potatoes because we forgot to get some more. So that's another thing that's going on. Fast forward, we're going to go and get this cleaned up and ready to go in, and Troy will throw this onion in. Fat yellow onion, sweet onion. Leave whatever kind is your favorite onion for 60 minutes. Hopefully you enjoyed our shenanigans, but that was about 4 or 5 average sized yellow potatoes. That's what we used this time. A bottle of spicy V8, probably 3/4 of that cabbage, pretty big one. 1 big yellow onion, and that's it. Like, that's the simple version. I will tell you, if you're trying to make a survival bag to stay plant-based, we bake a tray of baked potatoes every week so that we can have them in multiple different ways. Put them in the refrigerator after they're cool, and we'll take them out and we can slice them up for air fried French fries. The only thing it does is crispy outside. They're cooked. You can throw them in soup. We'll have a baked potato. We'll eat them for snack. So if you are finding that you're hungry, don't be hungry on plant-based for sure, then make out some potatoes, make out some soup, or make out some cookies, and it will help you through the week not to be overwhelmed or want to quit because of not having any time or busy, hurry. So this is ready to go. We're just going to put the lid on and make sure, if I get it right, the lid on. I'll get it. So here's the fun about me. This kind that I do often. Like, try to get this lid on and go on. And get off steaming and not venting. We'll be back in just a little bit to show you the finished product. But we do hope that you stick around. Subscribe, share the channel, whoever can benefit from it. And please collaborate with us. We really want to know what you're putting in your soup or how you're doing pancakes or breakfast or whatever.
If you've got a favorite recipe, send it to us.
Please.
And we'll try to make it on the show.
Yeah, please. I guess until next week.
See?